What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and are you ready for what is to come? Are you prepared for your world and my world and our world to be flipped upside down? Are you really ready for the moment when society as a whole simultaneously starts questioning everything they thought they knew about life, about the world, about the universe? Will you accept the fact that maybe there's other life out there? That maybe, just maybe, humans aren't the only intelligent beings in the universe? Because it seems like to me that this moment, this time, it's coming. It's upon us. I don't know if the government has something weird up their sleeve, but it seems as if they're preparing society to accept that humans aren't the only intelligent creatures in the universe. It seems as if the mainstream media, along with our government, are working together to slow roll, to just slowly prepare everyone for something big, for the acknowledgement, finally, the official acknowledgement that we are not alone. Now, this is going to shake people at their core. Some people's religious beliefs will fly out the window. For others, this will only strengthen their beliefs and their faith. But I don't think there's any denying at this. I don't think there's any denying at this point that we are on the doorstep. We are on the doorstep of a whole new reality, almost, if you will. You know, for years, I think a lot of us have believed in aliens and UFOs. Others, they won't believe it. You could drop an alien in front of their face, they still won't believe it. But no matter how much you may have prepared, no matter how much you've shown interest in this topic, no matter how much research you've done, can anything really prepare you for that moment? Now, as you all know, and if though some of you might not, recently there's been a whistleblower. A high-ranking intelligence official came out claiming that not only has the U.S. recovered alien craft, but we've also recovered alien bodies. He even stated that, yeah, we've shot some of these craft down, and aliens have killed humans. It's on record, supposedly, if we were to believe this Pentagon UFO whistleblower. Now, one thing I know about the government is that they're always thousands of steps ahead of you. The technology they work with, the knowledge they work with, they're at the very least 30 to 50 years beyond us, always. Sometimes some of the technology, some of the information, some of the stuff they're sitting on, it's 100 years ahead of us. Meaning that the technology they work with, the things they know now, we may be using, or we may be allowed to know that information in 50 years, 100 years. So the fact that they are coming out now and they're kind of slow rolling out this information, trying to prepare everyone for the reality of supposedly that there is alien life and that they know it for a fact and that they've recovered these crafts and you name it, you have to understand, they're not doing this just to say, hey, yeah, there's UFOs. We don't know where they come from. We don't know nothing about it, but yeah, UFOs exist. You have to understand, they're putting this knowledge on us now, but in reality, they know tons more. So when the day comes, and the day's already here, that they acknowledge that UFOs and the aliens exist and they're real, understand that their knowledge about these aliens and about these UFOs is going to be way more advanced than what they're going to allow us to know. So there's no denying that we have finally gotten to the point where they're acknowledging that they've dealt with UFOs for years. But they're still pretending as if we don't know where this stuff comes from. We don't know what's going on, but we're acknowledging that they're real, and in reality, they know so much more. So much more. I want you all to understand that the government and the media, they're not preparing you. They're not preparing you for the fact that, yeah, maybe we know that UFOs exist. They're preparing you for the fact that I'm struggling to figure out how to put this. Like in the news right now, they're talking about UFOs finally. Congress is having meetings. The Senate is having meetings. They've acknowledged that they've recovered craft that they don't think is from this world. But when they're giving you this information, they're not preparing you to accept that, oh, maybe they've recovered some craft. They're preparing you to accept a new reality where probably alien life may even walk amongst us. And it may already have been. For all you know, there's aliens living in your neighborhood. It sounds far out there, and I don't think that's the case, but hey, I got a couple of ugly neighbors, and I wonder where they come from. Because I don't think they're human. But anyways, the point that I'm trying to make is when they're dropping all of this information on us now, I want you all to understand that this isn't where they're currently at. This is what they're comfortable releasing to you. This knowledge of, oh yeah, there's UFOs, but we don't know where they come from, we don't know what's going on. That's something that they've discovered back in the 1930s and 40s. They're just now telling you what they knew in 1940s, the 1930s, the 1920s. That's what they're telling you now. Okay? Decades have passed since then. I believe that the government knows way more about these UFOs and aliens than we think. I don't think it's just, oh, well, we've recovered a couple of craft. We don't really know where they come from. I think they've been in contact. I think there's so much more to this. But a U.S. Senator, Marco Rubio, was on the news speaking out about the situation. And from what he says, this whistleblower that came forward a few weeks ago, he's not the only one. There are a lot of government officials who have been secretly talking to members of Congress about some of the classified information they have. Some of them are scared for their lives. They're scared for their jobs. A lot of them aren't ex-military or ex-government officials. No, they're still working within government. Now, you know me. I have a hard time trusting these type of things. I believe that aliens are real just as much as I believe that I'm real. I'm sitting here right now talking to you on this video. I think aliens are just as real as you watching me. I believe in aliens so much that I think they're just as real as this popcorn machine. You know what I mean? But I don't trust this sudden movement of just releasing all of this information. For years, we were called whacked out conspiracy theorists, weirdos, all this stuff, because we believed in extraterrestrial life. We would study these certain topics. We would look in the sky, see weird things in the sky, and things of that nature. Now it's just like, oh yeah, sorry for labeling y'all conspiracy theorists since Roswell. Sorry for calling y'all conspiracy theorists since the 1940s. It turns out y'all were right about UFOs this whole entire time. You know what I mean? So I don't trust this sudden movement of releasing this information and being more honest with us about this stuff. I don't know if they got something up their sleeve or if they just know. They just know that it's time to start kind of slowly laying this on people, because what you don't want is that huge culture shock. That huge culture shock of just a UFO landing at the White House and aliens walking on the White House's front lawn. You know what I mean? They don't want people to be caught so off guard by it that they go crazy. So what they're doing is like they're desensitizing us. And in many ways, when you look at Hollywood, you look at these movies about aliens and stuff like that, those movies, those TV shows, they've been used already to desensitize you for years. A lot of these movies, even the good ones, they're not just made just to be made. It's not like someone just sits down with a creative idea and makes some of these movies, which that does happen often. But also, there's a little bit of predictive programming. There's certain things that they push in these movies just to see how people react and to just get your mind prepared for possibilities that they already know are true. But I want to show you this clip of Marco Rubio talking about some of the information he knows. Before you watch the clip, hit a thumbs up, drop a comment down below. Let me know, do you believe in aliens? Do you not believe in aliens? Do you think that the government's just trying to get us ready for aliens? Or do you think that this is Project Blue Beam, or they're getting us ready for something else? Let me know down below. We're going to watch this clip, and then I'm going to be right back with more thoughts.
Until now. Just hours ago, we finally got Rubio on camera, and what he said, it is big news. Senator Rubio says Grush is not the only high-level government official to come forward with these kinds of claims. There are others, he says. Let me say that again. Grush, who you saw on our air, is not the only one to come forward, according to Rubio. Others have come forward in secret to Congress. News Nation's Washington correspondent Joe Khalil just wrapped up an interview with Rubio a little while ago. He joins me live now. All right, Joe, this is quite a development. I know you've been trying to track down Rubio for quite some time. I don't think any of us expected him to say something this explosive. Break it down for us.
Yeah, it was a big deal, Brian. And so let's start off with the fact that Grush himself, self-admittedly, is a second-hand witness bringing these claims forward, right? So he is not in the rooms seeing these alleged aircraft. He's not involved with these alleged programs that exist, but he was talking to people who have seen those things. He was getting information from people who were in those programs. Well, tonight, Senator Rubio said that he, the senator, has heard from those firsthand account witnesses to some of these claims. And I tried to press him and asked him in a number of different ways. Okay, the people who are saying that they have seen these things up close and personal, spacecraft and others, you have heard from those people who've made those claims. And here's what the senator told us. I'm going to play a big chunk of our exchange.
We'll say there are people that have come forward to share information with our committee over the last couple of years. I would imagine some of them are potentially some of the same people that perhaps he's referring to. I want to be very protective of these people. A lot of these people came to us even before these protections were in the law for whistleblowers to come forward.
Sorry, people who have had firsthand knowledge, who claim to have firsthand knowledge of seeing this type of thing?
Or have firsthand knowledge or firsthand claims of certain things. Some are public figures, you know, and we've heard from them in the past. Others, you know, have not shared publicly. And so we're trying to gather as much of that information as we can. And the reason why I'm being cautious, I'm not trying to be evasive, but I am trying to be protective of these people. Some of these people still work in the government. And frankly, a lot of them are very fearful of their jobs, fearful of their clearances, fearful of their career. And some, frankly, are fearful of harm coming to them.
So that category of people who have firsthand knowledge, who say they have actually seen these kinds of things, do you find many of them credible?
Well, I don't find them either not credible or credible because we have no basis. Understand some of these claims are things that are beyond sort of the realm of what any of us has ever dealt with. What I think we owe them is just a mature, you know, understand listening and trying to put all these pieces together and just sort of intake the information without any prejudgment or jumping to any conclusions in one direction or another. I will say I find most of these people at some point, or maybe even currently, have held very high clearances and high positions within our government. So you do ask yourself, like, what incentive would so many people with that kind of qualification, these are serious people, have to come forward and make something up?
So Brian, not exactly saying yes or no that they're credible or not credible, but he said he doesn't see a reason for many of these people to fabricate these kinds of things, and says that they are serious people. And you just heard him in high levels of the government, some of them even still working in those capacities. He did go on to say we have to be cautious about this because we don't want to jump to any conclusion one way or another. Many of these claims, he says, are fantastical. So you just have to stick to where the facts take you. Nonetheless, I think big revelation tonight from Senator Rubio and some pretty serious information there.
Yeah, it's just remarkable that he is saying that other whistleblowers have come forward. And what you mentioned, I think, is what really makes this interesting, that these are people with firsthand accounts. Of course, when we had the exclusive with David Grush, this was information, he's a high-level intelligence officer, but that he was hearing from other colleagues who he worked with. Now Rubio is saying that he is getting firsthand accounts from other high-level officials. I just want to remind people what David Grush told us 3 weeks ago when we had the worldwide exclusive here on News Nation about this secret government program. I want to play again for people exactly what Grush said.
When you say crash retrieval, what do you mean?
These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will, non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do.
Okay, so Rubio Joe made clear now that he has heard from other whistleblowers with firsthand accounts. Did he say anything about David Grush? Has he spoken to David Grush? Did he say anything about Grush's credibility?
What he said was that the Inspector General has found Grush's claims to be at least worthy of more investigation, and that the Inspector General has found that Grush is a credible person. Now, the Inspector General's job in this case is to assess that. If they are credible, then they are referred to Congress. And if they are not perceived to be credible, then they don't get to take that extra step. And what Senator Rubio said, he didn't confirm that he has heard directly from David Grush, but what he said is that the Inspector General did refer him to Congress. So that, I think, is an important admission in and of itself there. And he did say, again, that a lot of the claims that he is hearing from firsthand witnesses sort of track with what we're hearing from David Grush.
So interesting. I knew when you told me that you were going to get this interview tonight, Joe, that it was going to be revealing because we had been waiting to hear from Marco Rubio, but I did not expect him to say that they've gotten these firsthand accounts. I mean, just unbelievable stuff. Joe, thank you so much. We appreciate your reporting today.
Oh, I know that aliens and UFOs, they've been written off as a tinfoil hat conspiracy type of theory for years. But it's so odd to me that still, to this day, right now, people will be watching this video thinking that I'm a conspiracy theorist, thinking that I'm talking about all of these weird things that can't be true. Meanwhile, senators, congressmen, people who work at the Pentagon, Marines, you name it, they're all openly talking about aliens and UFOs. And they have been for the last couple of months. This has slowly been rolling out ever since the beer bug. While we were on lockdown, the Pentagon finally acknowledged that a lot of these UFO videos and stuff that we've been researching over the years, they revealed that that stuff is real. And now it's just been a slow rollout. Every couple of weeks, every couple of months, more and more tidbits of information are thrown out there for us. So I find it so wild that people will look at these videos and some people still won't believe them. They'll write it off as a conspiracy theory, as if our own government isn't the one that's putting this information out there. I don't wake up in the morning and just say, you know what? I want to go on YouTube for my 90,000 subscribers and just talk about some random stuff that's not true. No, I'm literally relaying information to you all that has been relayed to us, but some of y'all don't look into the information, from our own government. From our own government. So it's well beyond a conspiracy theory now, people. But one problem that I have with people, even people who do believe in aliens and UFOs, is that they just have this thought about them in their mind that they can't seem to break. For one, even people who believe in aliens, they don't think it's possible that a UFO could crash or that a UFO could get shot down. You have to stop thinking like that. Anything is possible. One of my biggest gripes with just this whole conversation about aliens is that people automatically assume that if aliens exist, they have to be this super advanced life form that's well beyond us, and they're so smart, and they're this, they're that. For all we know, aliens could be humans that are just on a different planet. They could look like us, act like us, have the same DNA. We don't know. We don't know. And as far as UFOs crashing, well, how could a UFO crash if they made it all the way to Earth? Or UFO technology's got to be so advanced, there's no way we could take them down. You don't know that. Even if a UFO or a spaceship, if you will, is so advanced, so far so much more advanced than our modern equipment, there's still things on this Earth that they might not be able to understand or be prepared for. So there's always ways to take something down. There's always ways to take down a craft. You know what I mean? I want you all to think about the Titanic sub-story that we've been talking about for the last week. You know, these people, they created this craft. It was supposed to be the most state-of-the-art craft. It was supposed to be safe. They went to the bottom of the ocean in a place that we don't fully understand, and they imploded. Okay? Think about a spacecraft. Think about, like we've been talking about the CEO of Ocean Gate, Stockton Rush. Think about an alien planet where some entrepreneur is like, yeah, I can make a ship that can get us to Earth, and I'm going to sell tickets, and I'm just going to take you down to Earth for a couple of hours. We're going to look at it, and then we'll come back to our home planet. And then, turns out, they didn't build the craft right, and it explodes in our atmosphere, or it crashes. Anything is possible. For some reason, when people think of aliens, they think of this perfect, almost godly figure that's all-knowing. There's no way you can hurt it. There's no way you can kill it. There's no way you can shoot down the craft. There's no way you can do this. They're so much better than us. They're so much smarter than us. When in reality, we don't know that. Take those thoughts out of your mind. Because for all we know, aliens could be out there, but they could be more primitive than us. There could be cavemen on other planets. You know what I mean? So I wish people would stop thinking about aliens in this little box. It's like everyone's boxed themselves in, and they're not thinking about the possibilities. For one, thinking about the possibility of other life out there, and the possibility that that life could somehow reach our planet, that should open your mind to the vast possibilities. Stop thinking of things so narrow-minded. Just because an alien has the ability to make a spacecraft that can reach Earth doesn't mean that they're too advanced to crash. It doesn't mean that they're too advanced to make mistakes. It doesn't mean that some of these craft aren't capable of malfunctioning. Anything could go wrong. And we don't know anything really about these aliens. We don't know how advanced they are. We don't know. So just keep your mind open to all of the possibilities. Stop being so quick to rule things out simply because you've already, created this narrative or image in your mind that you have to stay faithful to. In reality, we have no idea what these things could look like. We have no idea what these things could think like, and those are things that I think we will be finding out in the near future. Because it seems to me as if they're getting us ready. They're getting us ready for something. And, either it's that aliens are real or they got something else up their sleeve. And I just hope that you're ready. Keep an open mind out here in this world. Because if the last few years taught me anything, it's that anything could happen. Even the stupidest stuff imaginable. Look at our society. I mean, the stupidest, most unbelievable stuff is happening every day. And there's half of our society that just believes in some of the stupidest, most outrageous things in the world. I think that aliens are more believable than half the stuff that people are creating in their own minds on our Earth right now. But let me know your thoughts about all of this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I will be talking to you all in the next video.